The Greenville Red Raiders, they've been on fire lately with a tall task at Serene Stadium as the Easley Green Wave roll into town. While the Bulldogs from Boiling Springs make the trip to Union County with hopes of stinging the Yellow Jackets. And our game of the week, a gem at Gibbs Stadium. Two upstate powers collide as the Westside Rams from Anderson look to take down the Vikings from Spartan High. Just some of the games we're covering for you tonight. Get hyped, it's Friday night. It's Friday Night Blitz.
Friday Night Blitz, sponsored by Benson Hyundai, Lake Keowee Dodge, and Subway.
Welcome into Week 5 of Friday Night Blitz here on Fox Carolina. Hey there, I'm Aaron Cheslock. We'll begin, as we always do, with tonight's Lake Keowee Chrysler Dodge Jeep Game of the Week between Westside and Spartanburg. This week, you voted on who you think will win the Game of the Week matchup, and it looks like 58%. Fox Carolina's Shannon Somerville joining us from the sidelines, as always, and Shannon's setup is a great one on paper, but the last few weeks, we've had some blowouts with the Game of the Week.
Yeah, absolutely. In this one, both teams entering with a 3-2 record, but there was a winning streak on the line. Spartanburg in the last 7 meetings has never lost to Westside. But even more importantly, there's also some stuff going on with the Touchdowns Against Cancer initiative. So we were rooting for a lot of touchdowns here tonight, and that's exactly what we saw. Take a look. K-I-K-I-K-I-N-G-N-G-N-G. Homecoming in Sparkle City as the Vikings host Westside. The Rams looking for their first win over Spartanburg in program history. But the Vikings get out to the early lead. Scoreless in the first quarter. Keontae Cartilage over the middle to DeMaje Foster. Clear path to the end zone for the 20-yard touchdown. The missed extra point gives the Vikings a 6-0 lead. Later in the quarter, Spartanburg back at it. 2nd and 10 from the 41. Same player, same route, same result. This time a 41-yard touchdown to Foster. Spartanburg now leads 13-0. Vikings head coach Chris Miller turning up on the sidelines, but don't count out the Rams on 1st and 15. Trey Carson airs it out. Jalen Ware hauls it in for the first Westside score of the game, bringing the Rams within 5 with a successful 2-point conversion. We'll go to the second quarter and the dynamic duo back in action, but adding Roman Kelly to the mix with a little trickery. Cartilage to Foster finds Kelly, 43-yard touchdown as the Vikings offense is rolling, looking to make it 8 straight against the Rams. Spartanburg would go on to win this one 47-11, just a dominant win over Westside. I'm going to bring in head coach Chris Miller. Coach, I mean, not only did you score 47 points, but you also scored for a charity. You know, all these touchdowns, there's money going to charity, so how much does that mean to you?
Well, it means a lot. You know, we want to help out the community, and, you know, if we weren't trying to be so nice, might have scored some more just for that reason. No other reason than that.
You guys were absolutely dominant on offense today against a Rams defense that's been good all season at forcing turnovers. How were you able to be so disciplined and execute today?
Well, I tell you, the guys offensively, there's so many weapons, and what they do is they're running the ball, getting the ball out in the flats, getting the ball deep, just everything. We got so many weapons there that they can get the ball to. So I'm excited about what they're doing, and every one of them can take it to the distance.
Thanks, Coach. I'm going to bring in wide receiver Mo Wedman here. A great game for the offense. How did it feel out there? You guys were just dominating, putting up points left and right, it seemed like.
Oh, it felt good today. I finally get honest thanks from my Lord Savior Jesus Christ, and it felt good. I do this for my coaches and my players, for everything I do on the field.
All right, you guys were having fun out there, but I know it's going to be back to business come Monday. You get to celebrate tonight, but you got Burns coming up, undefeated so far. You know, what's your approach going to be heading into next week?
It's going to be a challenging game, but I trust my brothers and my players over anything and my coaches.
All right, Mo. Well, you guys are headed to Burns. We will tell you where we are headed for Game of the Week next week coming up in a little bit. Aaron, back to you.
Okay, Shannon, thanks very much. We'll catch up with you a little later, and we will find out where we're going next week for Game of the Week. Meanwhile, we have more action to get to. We'll go to Union County as they host Boiling Springs, a big 4A, 5A matchup between two teams going in opposite directions this season.
Blue for room! Woo!
Union County trying to get its first win of the season at home. Everyone wearing blue for a great cause. Pick it up in the first. Dawson Taylor running it in for a 9-yard touchdown. Puts the Bulldogs up 7-0. Later in the first, it's Taylor again. This time he finds Patrick Smith in the end zone. Boiling Springs, a 14-0 lead. Union County trying to come back. Will Harlicker picked off by D. Rice. 40-yard touchdown, 21-0. Later in the second, John Bushong gets the field goal to go. We would trade field goals going into the half, and Union County would end up falling at home 38-23. Got a tale of unbeaten starting out with a lightning delay. Greenwood against T.L. Hanna. Pick it up in the first. Hanna's Kylane Morrison fumbles in the end zone. Zach Pickens recovers for the touchdown. 7-0 in favor of Hanna. Later in the first, after the lightning delay, Alex Meredith picked off by Isaiah Jeffrey. Greenwood ball, but they would not be able to put points on the board. We're still at 7-0. Then in the second, it is Isaiah Norris from Meredith. 14-0. Greenwood looking for an answer, but Hanna would continue to pile on the points. There's Braylon Peterson, former player of the week there. Hanna on top, and at last check, we are in the fourth quarter. Again, a lightning delay in that one. Hanna with a 42-0 commanding lead.
From Greenville High School, we highlights are serene.
The highlights are serene at Serene Stadium. The backdrop for the Red Raiders and Davis Bevel trying to take down the Easley Green Wave. Bevel brought down by Marquez Jenkins there for a sack in the second, but the Raiders are on top and they're looking for more. Off the fumble here, Bevel heads up play, finds Aeneas Williams-Byrd all alone in the end zone. Greenville up 15-0 ensuing drive. Bailey Cateau picked off by Dorian Williams. Red Raiders back in business. They would tack a field goal on courtesy of Jack Hennigan off the turnover, and Greenville would go on to down the Green Wave 32-0.
Tonight, Dorman's going to beat Lawrence on Friday Night Blitz.
Confidence from the Cavs faithful. Marcus Ratchford coming off a huge performance, hosting a struggling Lawrence team. First quarter Lawrence ball. Daisy and Mosley returns the opening kickoff for a touchdown. So 6-0 Lawrence on top. Later in the first, Dorman ball, Zach Hillcrest, rushes from 2 yards out. 7-6 ball game. Later in the first, Thomas Morgan, 40 yards to pay dirt. 14-6, Dorman in front. Later in the second, Ryan Campbell to Deontay Smith. Lawrence trying to make it close, but they couldn't complete the comeback against the Cavs. 48-20, Dorman in the wing column. Shane Clark, meanwhile, bringing a struggling Blue Ridge team to face Malden. That is Mitch Norman on the keeper from 12 yards out. 21-0, Mavs on top. Blue Ridge punts on their next drive. Malden looking to end it early. Stone Watson, this time he looks deep. Makes it 28-0. Blue Ridge can't get anything going on offense. They go 4 and out. Half the punt. Raekwon Fenderson on the receiving end. Starts one way, hits the circle button. Looking like a pro in Madden right there. All the way to the house. 35-0. Thanks to the 55-yard return, Malden. Big time winners, 50-0. Time to check in with your Benson Hyundai scoreboard. Northwestern over Gaffney, 17-13. Travelers Rest losing to Southside at last check. That is a 32-24 score. We'll try to update you through the end of the show. Wade Hampton on top of Maria, 25-0. Seneca blanking Pickens, 38-0. And Powdersville falls to Pendleton, 50-43. Walhalla all over Landrum, 51-0. All right, we have much more action to get to from Week 5 on Friday Night Blitz. Can Belton Honeypath and that rush attack stop Emerald's win streak? And Hillcrest, QB, torching defenses with his passing this year. Will home field advantage help his team down Woodmont? Those games and more yours straight ahead on Friday Night Blitz.
Friday Night Blitz Game of the Week, sponsored by Lake Keowee Dodge. Friday Night Blitz Scoreboard, sponsored by Benson Hyundai.
Welcome back to Week 5 of Friday Night Blitz here on Fox Carolina. Belton Honeypath back at Gambrell Stadium, led by sophomore running back R.J. Ellis. He's got 8 touchdowns this season, and he's taken those great stats into a showdown with Emerald.
Get with the program. It's Friday Night Blitz. Woo!
Emerald and BHP squaring off. We will pick it up in the first quarter. We will try to get with the program. We're tied at 7. Camden Bratcher. There's R.J. Ellis. We just told you about it. Just short of the touchdown. Stopped by Emerald. 3rd and 3 now in the second. It's Kadarin Dean to Keyshawn settles. And he won't settle till he gets into the end zone. 14-7. Emerald on top. We're tied at 14 now in the second. 2nd and 4. It's Bratcher. Hands off to Breland Sampson. Into the touchdown. 21-14. BHP on top later in the second. Here's Ellis. 28-14. BHP would go on to get the win, 31-14.
Tonight is Friday Night Blitz, and we're going to Hawaii!
It is Hawaiian night, it looks like, over in Simpsonville. Hillcrest taking on Woodmont. Got Will Watts over 1,000 yards here. Gets things going early. That's Watts to Trey Atkins along the sideline. 7-0. Rams in front. Woodmont couldn't get things going at all in the first, including here. Clay Bartonek finds Marshall Garrett. What looks like the catch of the night. The ref says he didn't get his feet in bounds. They'd end up having to punt. Watts back on the field, shifts around the pocket, finds Stephen Campbell, who's all of 6'3", and he's using every inch of that to bring that catch in. 2 plays later, still in the first. It's Watts again. Scrambling away, fires to Jeremiah Talbert. The Rams roll 21-6.
Hi, welcome to Carolina Academy, home of the best highlights of the upstate.
Eastside in town at Carolina Academy. One of the hottest teams in 4A, and the Eagles didn't waste any time. The first play of the game, it's Jordan Morgan, a 3-time player of the week. He could very well be up for a 4th. About 65 yards to Havenberry, so he's 1 for 1 with a touchdown. The Eagles force a punt. You got to be kidding me. Play number 2, Morgan to Daniel Baldwin. This was about 50. Eastside's run 2 plays on offense, both passing touchdowns from midfield or deeper. A little later. Stop me if you have heard this before. Jordan Morgan passing touchdown. It's Barry again. 3rd straight drive with a TD. Should note that Chance Pride, he returned 2 punts for touchdowns. Both of them were called back. Not sure if I've ever seen that before. Eastside with no trouble at Carolina. Eagles soar 69-0.
Come on, you're going to beat up the Patriots! Yeah!
All right, Riverside and J.L. Mann. Tough start for both with 7 combined losses. Both looking for win number 2. First quarter, Jashawn Anderson gets it in for Mann, 7-0. Later in the second, it's Will Phillips, the dual threat gunslinger. 14-7 in favor of the Patriots. Stay in the second quarter here. It's Scott Higginbotham trying to get Riverside back to Ryan Perrin. Perrin, a nice juke there at the goal line into the end zone, but Mann would go on to hold on for the win, 35-33.
Hey, what are you doing? Oh, nothing. Just popping popcorn for Palmer to eat while evacuating for Hurricane Ren.
Okay, the Ren Hurricanes popping popcorn. Tyrell Jackson, over 1,100 passing yards on the season. This is Blair Gardner to Ray Beatty for 6. Ties it up. Later in the first, it's Renz. There he is. Tyrell Jackson hands it off to Tyler Cherry. He gets into the end zone. Ren would go on to win 29-17. 42-14. Time now to get back to your Benson Hyundai scoreboards. Saluda over 96, 42-23. Chesney loses to Clinton, 35-6. Southside Christian knocks off Blacksburg, 17-14. Abbeville hammers Mid-Carolina, 41-6. All right, time to check in with tonight's Subway Play of the Week. It comes from Blue Ridge at Malden. Pick it up in the second. Blue Ridge is punting. Sophomore Raekwon Fenderson. He jukes right. Cuts it back to the outside. Look at him go. 55 yards later. We just showed it to you. It's so pretty. We're going to show you twice. That is your Subway Play of the Week. Time now to check in with our favorite meteorologist, Fox Carolina's Kendra Kent, out and about looking for our Spirit of the Week winner. We saw a lot of great fans at all the games we were covering tonight. We found our Spirit of the Week winner at tonight's matchup between Woodmont and Hillcrest. Kendra?
Hey, Aaron, Chief Meteorologist Kendra Kent at Hillcrest High School. And I think cheerleaders are some of the best fans, but especially when you start them early. And we've got a couple from Kitty Camp here that love Hillcrest High School, Summer and Mary Catherine. Tell us a little bit about Kitty Camp. What did you get to do, and will you get to perform soon?
We got to do a lot of tumbling and do cheers and a dance and a lot of stuff like that.
Very cool. And are you going to get to perform during the game?
Yes, we are going to perform the first quarter of the game.
Awesome. Well, do y'all have just a little short Hillcrest cheer you can do for us?
Sure.
I loved that. I can tell y'all are very excited about the game, and you guys have a big performance coming up. Want to give you your prize pack? Here we go. A t-shirt and hat and some really cool stuff. So what do y'all think of all of this?
It's really cool. This is the best bag ever.
Oh, Summer, I'm really sorry, but Joe said we had to take the bag back.
That's not very fair.
Well, you're going to have to take it up with the camera guy. I'm really sorry. But have a good performance, okay? All right, enjoy the t-shirts. Back to you, Aaron.
Why couldn't we give the kid the bag? All right, Kendra. Those girls are some good sports. All right, we will be out and about next week across the upstate looking for the Spirit of the Week winner, but we have more action to get to. We'll find out who you voted for as our Player of the Week for Week 4. Plus, West Oak and Liberty. Will West Oak be able to get the first win of the season on the road?
Don't go anywhere. Friday Night Blitz will be right back.
Friday Night Blitz, Play of the Week, sponsored by Subway.
And welcome back. Now time for our Player of the Week for Week 4. A very close call, but with 51% of the fan vote, a tailback from Greer takes home the trophy. We're talking about Dre Williams. I say a tailback because there are so many at that school. One of the top offensive weapons for the Yellow Jackets is Williams. He showed Woodruff why last week. Williams, 156 yards on the ground, finding the end zone 3 times. The running back claims his first Player of the Week award and admits he did a little campaigning himself.
I want to thank all my wide receivers making the blocks and the O-line making the big holes that the car could run through. Yeah, it means a lot. I mean, I went out and I told people to vote for me, people from out of state, cousins that I have from all over the place. I mean, it shows a lot of love that they have for me, and I really appreciate that. Thank you. Thank you for all the votes. I really appreciate it. Just thank you. It's overwhelming.
A hole that a car could run through. Campaigning paid off for Williams. From all of us here at Fox Carolina, congratulations to Dre Williams, our Week 4 Player of the Week. Make sure to head to foxcarolina.com starting tomorrow to vote for our Week 5 nominees. All right, more Week 5 action still to get to. West Oak hoping to get its first win of the season on the road against the feisty Liberty defense.
You're watching Friday Night Blitz on Fox!
All right, Liberty Junior Jack Brissy and his squad holding teams to 16 points a game. We'll pick it up in the third. Liberty is up big. And this is Garrett Fricks, 46 yards. and they would go on to run away with it from there. Liberty would deny West Oak its first win, a big-time blowout. Final score, 44-0. Time to get back to your Benson Hyundai scoreboard, where Shoals falls to Crescent 40-6. Christchurch knocks off Calhoun Falls 27-8. Dixie with a win over Greenwood Christian 35-7, and some scores we're going to update for you. You saw these earlier in the show. Southside ends up knocking off Travelers Rest 40-24, and TL Hanna finished the job against the Greenwood Eagles 42-7. Your final score there. Now let's get back to Shannon Somerville joining us live from our Lake Kiwi Chrysler Dodge Jeep Game of the Week. Westside falls to Spartanburg, and Shannon, Spartan High showed why they are one of the top teams in the 5A class.
Yeah, absolutely. That offense explosive. They exploded tonight for 47 points, and they had a lot of playmakers that contributed to that point total. But the one I want to talk to you about is Demaje Foster, who put up some incredible stats. I'll read them to you right now. He finished with 2 receiving touchdowns, a passing touchdown, and a rushing touchdown. Not a bad day, as the Spartanburg offense racked up 471 yards, averaging 11 yards per play. Pretty awesome there. 47-11 again was the final. They'll definitely need to keep that momentum going because they're headed to Burns next week. Huge game for them and a huge game for us. Next week, Game of the Week, we are going to the Boiling Springs game at Dorman. So it should be another good one for Game of the Week. Aaron, we'll send it back to you.
Okay, Shannon, thank you very much. We will see you there. And, of course, that Burns Spartan High will have that wrapped up for you next week as well. Before we let you go, we want to give one last thank you to the clients who helped make this show possible. Friday Night Blitz, sponsored by Benson Hyundai, Lake Kiwi, Chrysler Dodge Jeep, and Subway. We will be back here next Friday at 10:30, but don't you go anywhere. More news, weather, and sports coming up at 11 right now.